Hello everybody, how's it going today? Glowplasma231 here, back in data about hanging off Amagami Sister, chapter number 187. This chapter's titled 187th Knot, Tying the Skies Together. Chord. And quickly, I just want to sit down here and say briefly, guys, I am sorry for not putting out any of these videos in the past week. I was really good 2 weeks ago and I'd moved right back into my college dorm. I was like, man, I want to get this series done. It's ending in like 2 chapters. I want to go ahead and get it done, all of that various stuff, and to be able to talk about the final chapter on the release day. And well, that was a dream that was very quickly, I realized, not going to happen pretty much, for the main fact of hey, it's college, right? I'm back at school, and college is busy. I am taking 18 credit hours this semester, and it probably just wasn't going to be a feasible thing to do, but I was hoping I was going to be able to do it. And that first week, I did really good. I mean, looking at my YouTube studio page, I put out 4 videos, and I say 4. I put out 5 videos in the row, going all the way from chapter number 181 all the way to chapter number 186. And then after then, it was August 16th, and things just didn't really work out from there. I sort of ran into an issue where I wasn't able to find a good space to record video and audio for the YouTube videos. And of course, you may be sitting here now oh man, your audio sounds pretty good. And that is because I finally found a very good place. It is a completely soundproofed room on my campus specifically made for audio recording. So guess what I'm doing? I'm able to hook up the microphone to my computer. I'm not supposed to be doing that, but nobody tell the school administration pretty much, right? But I'm able to pretty much record all my audio that way. So it's not really an issue anymore. The only issue now is we're running up to a point where today is Sunday, August 24th. And this series, the very final chapter, chapter number 194, will be coming out on August 27th, 2025 in Japan, which they're 24 hours ahead of us, so it'll be coming out here on the 26th, pretty much. So they're 2 days before the series ends at the time I'm recording this video. So, oh no, that's not particularly great. You guys would have been getting a video on this chapter number 187 about a few days ago, but I recorded it in a spot and the echo was just terrible, and I was getting ready to put it up, but I eventually just said no, I don't want to put out a video that I think has terrible audio and is not up to sort of the quality I am looking to produce pretty much. So I'm that video is through, I'm not going to upload it, and it's just going to be as simple as that. Does it sort of suck and I wanted to upload it? Yes, absolutely, but it sort of just is what it is there, pretty much, right? But to hop in this chapter number 187, first let's talk about what happened last time, because of course, I barely remember what happened last time, to be honest with you, so I should have thought about doing this before, but let me quickly duplicate this page, and then quickly go up chapter number 186 here in the moment, right? What did happen last chapter? I should have had this prepared. Oh yeah, it was this very nice chapter right after Uryu told all the girls, hey, I want to marry all 3 of you. That's pretty much what my end goal is going to be. And it was a really good chapter where Uryu was pretty much self-reflecting on his past and how the girls made him into a better person and all of these other various things. And eventually they were all hey, thank you for choosing all 3 of us, Uryu. It really makes a whole lot of difference to us, right? Just a really nice moment. And eventually they're hey, how are we going to make this work, pretty much, right? And eventually Uryu goes through, claps his hands in the correct positions, pretty much, right? And summons all of the girls into this almost ethereal realm. And here Uryu is dressed in the typical Shinto male garb whenever they're getting married. What's that called? Oh gosh, the groom's thing, pretty much, right? At the very end of the chapter, he was hey, we'll have our own private wedding ceremony right here, right now. And that's where we ended off chapter number 186. And we start off number 187 in pretty much the same spot, as all the girls are realizing what Uryu was just saying, wait a second, a wedding ceremony just for us? And what is that supposed to mean, Uryu, right? And Asi's and also Uryu, what are you wearing right now, right? As Uryu looks down and gets a good look at his pretty much dress, he's going wait a second, you're right, why am I wearing this, right? He is very shocked about himself, which is very funny, right? And all the girls are what? You didn't know you were wearing that either, right? But of course, we see that the 3 girls and Uryu are not alone here. We, of course, see that the fox mascot, of course, who we know to be Chiharu Amagami, is also here. I'm just going to be calling her Fox Mask for the simplicity of just calling her sort of what she is when the other girls don't particularly know that she is Chiharu. But Fox Mask is just hey, that what you're wearing, Uryu, is actually a surprise wedding gift from me. And like, hey, we can have you looking shabby for your own wedding. Now, can we? I like that. It's a pretty cool thing, right? Like, if I was ever getting married, I would hope I'd have the proper attire on as well, right? And it's this whole thing where Uryu's just like, oh, well, thank you very much, Fox God, right? As we just see that Yuna just thinks like, wait a second, like, that's a Miko in a fox mask. As of course she remembers whenever her and Uryu actually swapped bodies during her initial arc, and she's just like, wait a second, that means that she is probably the god of our shrine, right? Something she said back then. And here in a moment, Yuna's just like, hey, could it be that you're a god? And Uryu's like, wait a second, like, you all can see her as well, right? And Yuna just is like, and Yahei's like, oh, so it's true then. That's the god of Amagami Shrine. And Asti's like, oh, and wait a second. Even more than that, it honestly feels like, mom? As of course, like, yes, we know that's the case, but of course the girls don't know that's the case right now. And I really love how the rest of the girls are saying, like, wait a second, what did you just say, Asahi, right? As Yuna's just like, hey, like, no, please, like, excuse her for having the audacity to call a god a mom, like, Asahi, like, apologize, right? And I really like Yahei's take on it too, like, wait a second, like, it's almost like accidentally calling a teacher at school your mom, pretty much, right? I did that once, it was really, really awkward, right? But either way, Asti's just like, hey, my apologies, like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, pretty much, right? But either way, they're just like, hey, still, even so are you, I didn't expect you to be, like, face-to-face friends with, like, a actual, literal god, pretty much, like, not even to mention a god of our shrine, right? And they're like, yeah, Uryu-kun, like, that's just, like, really weird, and also, like, what's if the whole, like, this is a private ceremony for us type of deal, right? As, of course, we see behind a fox mask, Chiharu is just produced a very nice smile at the whole idea of, like, hey, they sort of recognize her as their mother, right? A little bit of a nice moment, right? But of course, the whole idea is like, hey, Uryu, what exactly are you trying to do with all of us here? As we now cut into a flashback from the previous night, as of course this was the night before all the exam results were published, so literally the night before this is happening right now. I don't know why this simply could have just been said like, hey, this was last night, but whatever. Maybe they don't expect people to remember the timeline of the series, but this actually makes it harder for people to remember the timeline, at least in my opinion. I don't really know, right? But either way, we see that Uryu is praying in front of the main part of the Amagami Shrine. He goes up there, does his typical his two little claps, and he just says like, hey, God of the Shrine, did you hear my prayer? As of course, Fox Mask God Chiharu is pretty much standing there in front of everything, right? As she's just like, oh yes, I heard you. So your wish is to inherit the shrine, marry all three of the sisters, and make all three sisters happy. And Uryu's like, yes, but only if you consider it by mortal means. It's actually not possible for me to make that happen. And he's like, hey, and that's why I had to resort for asking for your divine intervention, right? As Uryu's just silent for a second before saying like, hey, please, I want to make all three of them happy, and to do that, I'm going to need your help. And he says like, hey, I know how crazy and audacious it is for me to ask this of you. I mean, and I know granting this request would be more than someone like me who's denied the existence of the gods for years really deserves. And he's like, but hey, I'll pay any price you name, so please, right? As we see that Uryu's just bowing in front of the Fox Mask God. As more silent just echoes out around the area. As eventually, the Fox Mask God just says like, oh, hee. So you finally decided to ask me for what you want. Well, then leave it to me. I'll prepare a place for you where you can make them all happy. And Uryu's like, wait a second, like, you can actually do that? And he's like, actually, like, why would you actually grant my wish so easily? And the Fox Mask God just is like, oh, of course, it actually won't be easy at all. Your wish is to make all three sisters happy. Granting that is beyond what a god, much less anyone else, can do. So you'll have to make it by your own power, Uryu. But I can offer you a little assistance to help it come true. After all, I also have a personal interest in their happiness. As it's this really nice thing where we then see that Chiharu takes off the fox mask, revealing herself like, hey, we know who this is, right? And we see that she goes back and knocks with pretty much her pointer finger knuckle and just like hits on the back of the shrine door, just saying like, all right, time for me to begin. And as she hits the back of the door, we see back to a scene that we have seen a little bit before, as we see that Chiharu is knocking in the same exact way inside one of the doors of the shrine. As we see that this is a very long time ago, of course, when Chiharu was still alive, and whenever all of the 3 new Amagami sisters had moved into the shrine. All 3 of them were here by this point, so Yahei presumably had moved in not too long ago, right? But Chiharu's just like, alright kids, like let's go ahead and get the preparations underway in this case. As we see that she walks into the room and is holding 3 of these braided cords in her hand. Of course, we know all of the hair cords that all of these girls treasure so much, right? And we pretty much see that all the girls like, hey, mommy, like, what are all these cords for, right? And we just see that she explains, like, hey, these braided cords are binding a fate I have woven myself. I've tied a knot so that the 3 of you can remain together forever. The spell has been woven into these cords themselves. As long as you wear these braided cords, you will be bound to each other, no matter what. As this is a really cool reveal. We also get a little bit more narration saying like, hey, you will find ways to deepen your connection and entwine your destinies further. You'll grow in love for one another and genuinely wish for one another's happiness. And when the time comes, you will bring these 3 cords together as you make your vows. As, of course, you guys all saw this video is titled, I literally thought of that title the second I finished this chapter, like, oh my gosh. This is Chekhov's cord. This is something placed in the story so early, which nobody thought had this much merit to it. I mean, the whole plot of the first chapter was like, hey, Yuna's hair cord has gone missing, and Uryu feels sort of bad about this, so he goes out to find it this entire time, not knowing that this cord is what is able to make him do all of this with the sisters, is what allows him to marry all 3 of them and have the life that he wants to have. And it's such a cool thing of Chiharu almost going back into the past to give the girls these cords to tie their fate together, not only bring them as sisters together, but also be able to bring Uryu into the fold later. It's so good, and Chekhov's cord, I'm proud of that title, man. Chekhov's cord, Chekhov's gun, introduced earlier, fires off later. Marcy Naito, I don't know how you're this good of a mangaka, but you are pretty much, right? But the whole idea is we get done with this scene here, as we now cut back into wherever Uryu is explaining the Gulp plan to all of the girls pretty much, right? He's like, hey, this place will connect us to 3 branch worlds, and from here we can create new worlds where each of the 3 of you actually tie the knot. This will be how the Amagami family's destiny will be tied together. And we get a really cool full-page spread of Uryu just saying this here in the moment. As, once again, all of the girls are just like, wait a second, it's like, the hair cords that we've treasured all of our lives actually had this deep of a significance, right? And they're like, hey, like, does this mean that all of these branch worlds are just worlds where one of us marries you then? And Uryu's like, yes, it actually is. But rest assured, my feelings for 3 of you will remain same in all of those various worlds. I love all 3 of you, and I sincerely hope that you'll be happy in each of those worlds as well. Will you believe in me and follow through with this plan of mine? And, of course, Uryu kneels down in a moment in front of all of the girls once again. And Yahei's like, I mean, I guess our destiny really was an incredible one, wasn't it, right? Asahi just says, like, hey, this is really a wedding just for us. And Yuna pretty much follows up the 3 sisters' whole idea is like, hey, then we should put our faith in Uryu and travel these paths so that all of us can be happy. And Uryu's like, thank you, Yahei, Asahi, and Yuna. He's like, hey, well now let's celebrate your guys' private wedding ceremony. As we see that now in the moment, all of the girls have taken off their hair braids and are holding them all connected in their hands, running through all of them, right? Uryu is kneeling in front of the 3 of them. As the fox mascot just says, do you promise from this day forward to share in one another's joy and sorrows, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, to be husband and wife in each of your respective lives, and to live happily ever after? As we see that Uryu reaches out his hands towards all of the cords where the girls are all holding them, as we just get one of my favorite 2-page spreads I've ever seen in manga, as we just see all of the characters standing here, We see Asahi, we see Yuna, Yahei, and of course Uryu himself, as all of them just proclaim, I do. As we just see that everything has finally happened here in the moment, we see the cord even running around the entire frame of the page, and the final page of the chapter is just a really beautiful one, where we just see all of the cords running down, tied into a 4-part knot, and we just see Uryu holding the hands of all of the girls, and all of their hands just coming together into one big mass. And that's where we end this chapter, chapter number 187 of Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. And what a beautiful chapter this is. It's like, this is really one of the best, like, final arcs in a harem manga I have literally ever read. And granted, I know, like, it's a little weird to be like, yeah, I'm a connoisseur reading some harem manga. I am particularly not. I've read We Never Learn and Nisekoi that both ran in Weekly Shonen Jump, and legitimately, I'm currently reading Hima 10 that's also running in Jump, and I just particularly haven't read too many other harem manga. I originally watched this anime just because I heard it was something interesting. I'm like, that seems like a weird premise, and I checked it out, and this is just such a nice moment. And all of these other series are one of these where it's like, hey, one girl has to win, a lot of like shenanigans, but you can tell how much in love all of these characters are, how much they deeply care about each other, and are willing to put their trust in Uryu, in this random god of their shrine. I say random, I mean it's their mother pretty much, but to eventually all come together and proclaim their wedding vows. It's, oh man, it's such a beautiful moment, and everybody saying I do, being officially wed, even if, like, the entire time I wanted Yuna to win. Technically, she did sort of win, you know what I'm saying? Just a really nice chapter, and yeah, just a really good one. I love the imagery at the end of the chapter of all of the chords coming together. It's just so beautiful, man, and yeah, I just don't have too much else to say about this chapter. Like I said, this is actually the second time I've recorded this video, and it's really funny. I've been currently recording for about 17 and a half minutes. The first video is like 12, so I'm very happy that I was able to sit down and get a better recording space to record this video in, so it's actually a video that I think is worth watching to you guys who are currently watching it, right? But yeah, with all that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching this video and tying a knot for Amagami Sister chapter number 187. If you did enjoy this video, I've covered this series a few other times on the channel. I really started covering this series at chapter number 174, 73, 75. Let me currently figure out what chapter number that was. I don't particularly remember this second. Let me scroll through. I think it was 174 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? There's a deleted video in this playlist? What in the world did I do? Yeah, chapter number 176. That's where I first started covering this series. And that was being of the Tying the Skies Together arc. So I've been covering it pretty much since the final arc of the series and plan to cover it all the way to the end of the series. Granted, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make it, so when the final chapter comes up, sit down and talk about it, but sort of is what it is there, right? But yeah, there'll be that playlist link down in the description box of this video, along with the end card of this video as well. And, yeah, I really don't have too much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys next time for Tying the Knot with Amagami Sister chapter number 188. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. This has been Glowplasma, signing out. Bye-bye. Yuna, you are the one who should win. I don't know why I'm talking in this voice now, but I am. Yeah, Yuna, you're best girl. We all know it. I'm glad that you're officially sort of married to Uryu now, even if there are 2 other women who are a part of that. Like, sort of is what it is. Yuna equals best girl. I want an acrylic figurine of Yuna. Like, I legitimately need to put money aside and buy one next time I go to the con. Hopefully, this series is getting popular enough, or did get popular enough, where that stuff exists, because I really want an acrylic keychain. Like, I really want one. I hope I'm not sounding weird now. I probably am. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.